all face battles the world never sees. For many men, the struggle with masturbation isn't about weakness, it's about seeking comfort in a chaotic world. But what if ancient wisdom could turn this struggle into strength? Stoicism teaches us how to reclaim control, find peace within, and rise above our urges. Let's explore how timeless principles can empower you to break free and live with purpose. Reason 1. Dopamine creates a pleasure loop. Our brains are wired to seek pleasure. Whenever we do something enjoyable, like eating tasty food, winning a game, or having sex, our brain releases a chemical called dopamine. This is known as the feel-good chemical. It makes us feel happy, excited, and rewarded. Masturbation, especially when combined with watching porn, causes a sharp spike in dopamine levels. This strong reward makes the brain want to do it again. The problem begins when this cycle repeats too often. Every time a man masturbates, he gets a quick hit of dopamine. The brain then remembers that action and the reward it brings. This creates what is called a pleasure loop. It's like a track the mind keeps running on. The more one follows it, the stronger the habit becomes. Soon, it turns into a pattern that feels hard to resist, even when one doesn't truly enjoy it anymore. Stoicism teaches us to control our impulses, not to be controlled by them. The Stoic philosophers believed that we should seek inner peace, not chase outer pleasure. Epictetus once said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." The dopamine loop is something we can break, but only if we regain control of ourselves. If we keep chasing quick pleasures, we lose our power. A Stoic man must ask, is this action helping me grow? When we become slaves to the pleasure loop, we slowly lose our freedom. Awareness is the first step. Understand that the dopamine rush isn't real happiness. It's just a signal. You don't have to follow it. By resisting the urge, you weaken the loop. Over time, you build strength. A man who learns to pause, reflect, and not act on every impulse becomes stronger than a man who only seeks pleasure. Stoicism empowers you to break free. You can control the loop, not let it control you. Reason 2. It can cope with stress. Life can feel heavy. Problems with money, relationships, work, or health can make a man feel like he's drowning. In those moments, many seek an escape. For some, that escape becomes masturbation. It's quick, private, and gives a moment of release. But this relief is temporary. It doesn't solve the real problem. Instead, it masks the stress for a little while. This habit becomes a way to avoid pain. Stress builds up, the mind searches for relief, and the hand reaches for comfort. Soon this reaction becomes automatic. Every time life feels hard, the same response follows. It becomes a coping mechanism, not a conscious choice. Stoicism teaches that stress is not our enemy. It is our teacher. The Stoics believed that life's difficulties help us grow. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Instead of running from stress, we should face it. We should learn from it. Masturbation in response to stress is like putting a bandage on a deep wound. It covers the pain for a moment but doesn't heal it. A Stoic approach asks you to go deeper. Ask yourself, why am I stressed? What can I learn from this feeling? You will start to see that growth begins where discomfort lives. We must learn to deal with stress in healthy ways. Exercise, deep breathing, journaling, or talking to a trusted friend. Every time you choose not to escape through self-pleasure, you build strength. You show yourself that you can handle life as it is. The goal isn't to feel good all the time. It's to be strong no matter how you feel. That's what Stoicism is about. Stress is part of life. Learning how to face it with a calm and steady heart is the mark of true inner power. Reason 3. Porn access amplifies. Urges today Anyone with a phone or computer has endless access to porn. It's everywhere, free, private, and always available. This kind of easy access changes the way the brain works. It trains the mind to expect fast, constant stimulation. This makes the urge to masturbate grow stronger and more frequent. Every time a man watches porn, he sees something new, exciting, and intense. The brain responds with a flood of dopamine. This keeps the man coming back, again and again. It becomes less about natural desire and more about chasing a high. Over time, this can lead to a kind of numbness. What once felt exciting now feels empty, yet the habit continues. This is where Stoicism offers powerful wisdom. Stoic teachings remind us that external things, images, sounds, pleasures, are not in our control. What matters is how we respond. Epictetus said, "It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them." If we believe porn is necessary for pleasure or happiness, we become its prisoner. You don't need porn to feel alive. You don't need to watch fantasy to enjoy real life. The more you chase the illusion, the more you lose touch with reality. Stoicism teaches us to train our desires. A man should desire only what leads to virtue and strength, not what weakens the mind. When you feel the urge, stop. Breathe. Remind yourself, this is just a thought. I don't have to follow it. Little by little, you reclaim control. The brain can unlearn old patterns, but only if you stop feeding them. Every time you avoid the trap, you get stronger. You show your brain that it doesn't control you. You control it. Break free from the screen. Look for real beauty. Live with awareness. This is the path of a wise and free man. Reason 4. Loneliness may lead to self-soothing. Loneliness is a quiet pain. It's not always visible, but it cuts deep. Many men feel disconnected from others, from love, from purpose. When loneliness lingers, it can feel unbearable. In those moments, masturbation becomes a way to self-soothe. It gives a short break from emotional pain. But that break is not healing. It's a pause. And when it ends, the loneliness returns, sometimes stronger than before. The cycle continues. A man feels lonely, seeks comfort, and finds it in self-pleasure. But deep inside, what he really wants is connection, not release. The body feels a moment of pleasure, but the soul still aches. And when this becomes a habit, it can deepen the sense of isolation. Stoicism teaches that we are never truly alone if we are connected to our inner self. Seneca wrote, "A wise man is content with himself." That doesn't mean we shouldn't seek companionship. It means that we must first become our own friend. We must learn to be at peace with our own company. Instead of running from loneliness, face it. Ask yourself, what is this feeling telling me? What part of me needs care? Use that energy to write, to create, to explore, to serve others. Build connections in real life. Even one meaningful conversation can break the cycle of isolation. Loneliness is not weakness. It's a signal. It tells you that you need love, purpose, and belonging. These can't be found in a screen. They grow from real life, from helping others, being kind, sharing truth, and showing up fully. The Stoic path teaches you to meet your emotions with strength. Loneliness does not define you. You can turn that pain into power. Let it push you to grow, not hide. Your heart deserves more than a moment of escape. It deserves real healing. Reason 5. Mental health can play a role. Depression, anxiety, shame, low self-worth. These are silent struggles many men carry. Sometimes they lead to habits that are hard to break. Masturbation becomes a way to cope. It feels like a safe place. It brings momentary relief when the mind feels heavy. But like all short-term comforts, it doesn't fix the root issue. When a man feels down, he may lose interest in the world. He may stop reaching out, stop pursuing goals, stop caring. In that state, the easy pleasure of self-stimulation feels like the only joy left. But it's not true joy. It's a mask over pain. The deeper the sadness, the more tempting the escape becomes. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot always control how we feel, we can control how we respond. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your thoughts are not your master. They are your tools. If mental health is affecting your choices, it's okay to seek help. There is no shame in needing support." A Stoic does not suffer in silence. He takes wise action. Talk to someone. Open up. Begin the journey of healing. You are not broken. You are human. Use Stoic practices like journaling. Write your fears. Face them. Replace harmful thoughts with truths. Say to yourself, "I am more than my habits. I am not my pain. I am in control." This mindset shift can open new doors. Healing takes time. Be patient. Don't expect to feel perfect, but do expect to grow. With each small step, each day you choose awareness over escape. You rebuild your inner peace. Your mental health matters, and you deserve to feel whole again. Reason 6. Trauma might lead to seeking comfort. Trauma changes people. It leaves invisible scars that affect the mind, emotions, and body. For many men, unresolved trauma becomes a silent force behind their behaviors. Some may not even realize the connection, but deep emotional wounds can lead to seeking comfort in things like masturbation. It becomes a way to calm the storm inside. This is not about weakness, it's about survival. When a man feels pain that he doesn't know how to process, he looks for relief. The pleasure of masturbation is immediate. It gives a moment of escape. For a while, it quiets the pain, but only for a while. Then the hurt returns, sometimes stronger. So the cycle repeats. Stoicism offers a path to healing. It doesn't promise quick fixes, but it teaches strength, resilience, and self-mastery. The Stoics believed that suffering can be transformed into wisdom. They faced pain without fear. Epictetus, who was once a slave and lived with physical disability, taught, "Difficulties show a man's character." He turned his suffering into strength. So can you. To break the cycle, first acknowledge the trauma. It might come from childhood, from betrayal, from abuse, or from deep emotional neglect. You don't need to have all the answers, but be honest with yourself. Say, "Yes, something hurt me, but I will not let it define me." That's the Stoic mindset. Use that pain as fuel. Channel it into something meaningful. Start small. Write, exercise, talk, meditate. Each step is part of rebuilding your foundation. Don't expect perfection. Expect growth. And growth is slow but powerful. Seek help if you need it. A therapist, a wise friend, or even a good book can help open your heart. You are not alone. Many men carry hidden wounds, but you don't have to carry them forever. Remember, the man who chooses healing over hiding becomes a warrior. Stoicism shows that true comfort doesn't come from pleasure. It comes from peace, and peace comes from within. Reason 7. Gratification is immediate and reinforcing in today's world. Everything is fast. Food is fast. Information is instant. Entertainment is endless. This makes the brain crave quick results. Masturbation fits perfectly into this modern desire for instant gratification. It takes no effort. It needs no partner. It delivers immediate pleasure. And because of that, the brain learns to crave it more and more. The reward is fast. The cost is hidden. Afterward, there may be guilt, regret, or a sense of emptiness. But the moment of pleasure makes the brain want to repeat the action. This is called reinforcement. The brain learns that this action gives a reward, so it repeats it, even when you know it's not helping you. Stoicism challenges this mindset. It teaches patience, discipline, and long-term thinking. A Stoic does not chase pleasure. He chases purpose. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." If you always seek the next quick hit, you become poor in spirit. But if you learn to wait, to pause, to think, you become rich in self-control. You have the power to say no to short-term pleasure for long-term growth. It starts with awareness. When the urge comes, stop. Ask yourself, what do I really need right now? Is this action helping the man I want to become? Most of the time, the answer is no. What you really need is clarity, purpose, movement, and connection, not a few seconds of release. Stoicism teaches us to delay gratification. That is where strength is built. Every time you resist the easy path, you grow tougher. And over time, the urges become weaker because the brain learns that it can live without constant pleasure. The goal is not to become cold or unfeeling. The goal is to become powerful from within. When you don't depend on anything to feel okay, you become unstoppable. The man who delays gratification chooses freedom over slavery. That is the Stoic way. Reason 8. Sensitivity to stimuli can increase. Urges. Some men are more sensitive to sights, sounds, and thoughts. A single image, a memory, or a glance can awaken desire. This isn't a fault. It's just how some brains work. But when that sensitivity isn't managed, it can turn into frequent urges. Masturbation becomes a way to deal with constant stimulation. But the more you respond to it, the more sensitive you become. It's a cycle. What starts as natural attraction becomes overstimulation. The brain starts reacting to even small triggers, and over time it becomes harder to focus, to stay calm, to live with peace. Every small thing becomes a source of temptation. This creates anxiety, distraction, and guilt. Stoicism helps us master our mind. It teaches that we are not slaves to our senses. We can train ourselves to respond with wisdom. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Just because a thought enters your mind doesn't mean you must act on it. When you feel stimulated, pause. Don't rush. Take a deep breath. Become aware of the moment. Remind yourself, this is just a thought. I am not my thought. I am the thinker. This small practice can break the link between stimulus and action. Over time, you can reduce your sensitivity, avoid triggers, create a cleaner environment, fill your day with meaningful actions, exercise, read, serve others. Your mind needs direction. If you don't guide it, the world will. A Stoic learns to live with awareness. He sees the world clearly, but chooses his response. He doesn't run from desire, but he doesn't feed it either. He simply observes it, understands it, and lets it pass. This power is within you. You can become stronger than your urges. It takes time, but every time you choose clarity over craving, you grow. You become less reactive, more calm, more free. Masturbation addiction is not about weakness. It's about patterns, and patterns can be broken. The journey is not easy, but it is possible, and it is worth it. Stoicism shows the way, not by fighting yourself, but by understanding yourself. A Stoic man does not blame the world. He does not shame himself. He simply learns, grows, and rises. He faces his urges with calm. He meets his pain with strength. He walks the path of virtue, not comfort. You are not alone in this. Many men walk this road. What sets you apart is your decision to rise, to become the master of your mind, to live with purpose, not impulse. Every time you resist an urge, you plant a seed of greatness. Every time you choose discipline over desire, you strengthen your soul. This is the path. This is the way. Be patient, be strong, be free, And remember, you are capable of more than you think. Live like a Stoic. Live with power.